While the nights are getting shorter for the negotiators, the audience yawns in the last few meters. The struggle for a Brexit deal has exhausted everyone. In a last resort, the European Union and Great Britain want to bring about a Brexit trade pact. It is the moment of truth, said EU negotiator Michel Barnier. If a free trade agreement was to come into force on January 1st, there were only a few hours left. There is indeed a chance, but the path to an agreement is narrow. It was not the first time in the seemingly never-ending saga of Britain's exit from the EU that Barnier invoked time constraints and urgency. He has been doing so for months. However, a look at the calendar shows that things are getting really serious. On Friday, there were still 13 days left until the end of the Brexit transition phase. That means until Britain's economic break with the EU after 5 decades of membership. In this hot phase, both sides negotiate according to the textbook. There is poker, there is accusation, it is appeased. Nobody wants to make a concession too early, everyone has to save face in front of their own followers. And since Friday there has happened a lot and nothing at the same time. Our door is open, said British Prime Minister Boris Johnson during a visit to Bolton in northwest England. We'll keep taking, but I have to say that things look difficult. Now it's Brussels' turn. We hope that our EU friends will come to their senses and put something on the negotiating table of their own accord, said Johnson. From a London perspective, Great Britain has already made concessions on the most difficult fields, on fair competition and on fishing rights for EU fishermen in British waters. Barnier naturally sees it differently. He said the UK wanted the right to limit access for EU fishermen after a certain period of time. And the EU brought an offer to the table, which the UK refused on Sunday. But then the EU must also have the opportunity to react. It could regulate access to the EU internal market for British products and especially for fish. In contrast to his British counterpart David Frost, the EU negotiator has to obtain the approval of 27 states in order to tie down a solution. According to information from the Irish broadcaster RTE, he repeatedly tested the member states to see how far he could go in the fisheries dispute. And then the European Parliament would have to agree to an agreement. The leaders of the group, or of several groups, asked for a text to be submitted by midnight on Sunday at the latest. Then an extraordinary plenary session could have been scheduled in December to decide on the proposal. It usually takes months or even years for Parliament to review and approve EU trade agreements. And as we all know, it did not happen on Sunday. The desired agreement should avoid tariffs and cushion the consequences for the economy, authorities and citizens. If it does not come about, there are different options. Negotiations are continued and, in the event of a breakthrough, an agreement is provisionally put into effect before the end of the year. That means initially without ratification. Or you can agree on a period of a few weeks during which the status quo will continue to apply after January 1st. You just have to name it differently because extending the transition period is forbidden by law in the UK. So either the House of Commons takes that law away or you have to find a way around it. The most expensive scenario would be a hard break without a contract. The EU is also prepared for this case. Parliament approved a number of emergency laws in Brussels. And if what you probably have seen in some of my other videos, the German customs, ports and so on, and in the rest of Europe as well, they are prepared for it. Not Europe, the European Union. They are intended to ensure that companies in the freight and passenger transport sectors, such as freight forwarders and bus companies, can initially continue to operate for 6 months under a transitional arrangement. Something similar is planned for air traffic, but always on condition that Great Britain enacts similar special rules. Now the EU Council of Ministers still has to deal with the measures. Meanwhile, kilometer-long traffic jams at the British entrance to the Eurotunnel give a first foretaste of a no-deal scenario. Although now, thanks to a new corona strain, everything is on hold anyway. Reasons for the increased trade volumes were the Christmas business and the need for medical goods in the corona pandemic, but also the increase in many warehouses before the end of the Brexit transition phase. Eurotunnel operator Gatling said at the request of the German press agency that this is the case. British ports have also been overloaded for weeks. The storage capacities in the country are exhausted, as is the public on both sides of the English Channel, who are following the Brexit votes with growing tiredness. When in doubt, observers have learned set deadlines are nothing more than an attempt to build up pressure in the talks. In the end, there has always been a hiding place to continue negotiating. Barnier's spokesman Dan Ferry did not want to specify what a few hours meant and whether the negotiators could really be ready by Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Christmas, God knows when. The negotiations were in progress, he just said. The British Minister of State Michael Gove had already indicated on Thursday that Christmas is not a magical limit either. Whether the European Parliament really wants the buck in the end, if it refuses to wade through a deal at lightning speed, is at least questionable. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. Also subscribe to my other channels. I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.